Support for this podcast comes from viewers and listeners like you. If you would like to financially contribute to this podcast, please go over to patreon.com/DavrimTV or join us on the live stream, twitch.tv/Davrim. Welcome to Pirate Talk Radio, your podcast for Sea of Thieves news. There's always something to talk about, whether it be patch notes, whether it be bugs, whether it be exploits, whether it be cosmetics that personally I find beautiful but ugly at the same time. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Halo Infinite arrives, and this is a question that we've seen from multiple people across multiple channels. The community would like to know if they'll see the Spartan ship set again with the release of Halo Infinite later this year. Do you have anything, no matter how abstract, to offer to an answer as an answer to this question?
I think a good answer that would be lovely.
Yeah, I agree. That's lovely.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, it would be lovely.
I don't think we'd necessarily bring back what we've already done before. I think, if we were going to do that, I think even if it's an IP we've done stuff with in the past, I think it's always nice to revisit things. So I think if we were going to do anything, we would look to revisit it rather than just release something we put out at E3 like 2 or 3 years ago. But
they don't want to put out what they've put out before for Halo Infinite. You heard it there? You heard it right there. Right there. It came from the mouth of the guy who handles the merch, the branding, all that fun stuff. Right there on the official podcast. You know how many times I listen to this podcast and I put in my notes the lies that Rare has shared us. Right there from the horse's mouth. That would be lovely to do something for Halo Infinite. That would be lovely. But I don't think we're going to do what we've done in the past. Yet, on the official Sea of Thieves tweet, talking about the excitement behind Halo Infinite's release, what do we get? New set of sails, new flag. Looks really cool. Looks really awesome. Really excited for them. What also do we get? The same old damn Spartan ship set that we've gotten before with E3 or the Halo releases and with Twitch drops. So they just said on their last official podcast, the guy in charge of all that, they would like to do something for Halo Infinite, but they don't want to do the same thing they've done in the past. They have literally said it. They said it on their official podcast. That means from the creators themselves, from the head honchos, from the directors. They want to do something for Halo Infinite. They want to do something new for Halo Infinite. They do not want to bring back stuff they've done from the past. What do? They turn around and they bring back something from the past. Yes, they give us really cool new sails and a really cool flag, which again, the design on that, I will never bash on the design that they do in the art teams. But the fact that they told us that they were going to do something new and then don't. They literally bring back the same ship set that we have gotten before, that we've seen in Twitch drops before. It's the same Halo ship set with the spear guy in the front. It's the same thing. And in fact, in their tweet, in their actual Halo Infinite tweet, when they showed this, they actually said, new sails, new flag, old Spartan ship set. And I read through some of the comments. On their tweet, and people were literally saying, oh, so you're giving us what you've given us before. Oh, new sails, new flag looks cool, but you're giving us the same ship set. Oh. Guys, welcome back to Pirate Talk Radio. This is episode 54, and yes, we are starting off with a bang in this episode, being that you know how I always like to poke my finger at Rare when they lie to us and when they deceive us and when they tell us things and then they don't follow through with it. So we had to open up with the actual video. Well, obviously, if you're listening on the podcast or watching on YouTube, you're just seeing my face. But the audio from the official podcast, which said all this stuff, I had to talk about it because it's absolutely ridiculous. It's another example of Rare just cutting the corner and not doing what they said that they're going to do. It's the continuation. So there we go. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. I also have a few other things that were kind of announced and talked about, this last week and a half since the last episode. And again, I apologize that we haven't got the episode up as fast as I normally do. Unfortunately, I've been traveling for work, and everyone's like, well, you can do podcasting when you're on the road, right? Well, yeah, I can, but you're not going to get the same quality. You're not going to get the same video. It's just not going to be the same when I'm traveling around, and work's been kind of crazy recently. So unfortunately, I didn't get it out on the weekend like I normally do. But here's your Thanksgiving treat. Here it is. This will be out for patrons early, obviously, before Thanksgiving, so they can listen to it before they gorge themselves on turkey, if they celebrate that. But if you are getting this without patron access, you'll get it on Thanksgiving, and happy Thanksgiving. Congratulations. There's your gift. That's your Black Friday gift from me. You're not paying for the podcast, so you get it on Thanksgiving as a look, 100% off. This podcast for Black Friday is officially 100% off. That is the best deal out there. This podcast is the best deal out there. You get it 100% off, completely free for Black Friday 2021. Okay, that's the best deal. You don't even have to leave your house. You can put the YouTube version of this up on your TV. You can plug in your ear pods or your headphones or whatever and listen to it. You could be showering, getting ready for your Thanksgiving, meal and stuff and listening. That's a good deal. Okay? You can't go into a retail store and do your shopping showering. Okay? This is a great deal. I'm telling you right now, this is the greatest podcasting deal ever. 100% off for Black Friday 2021. Look at that. Now, if you're a patron, you get it early. So you get an extra deal, right? You are supporting the podcast over on patreon.com/DavramTV. You are supporting the podcast. So not only do you get the great deal of this podcast on Thanksgiving, but you get it 2 days early. So therefore, you don't have to listen to my raging ass on Thanksgiving when you're preparing your turkey, when you're eating with your family, and you're trying to keep your kids from turning into someone like me. All right? So there you go. Extra deals this year for the holidays. But yeah, this is very frustrating. There's a couple frustrating things with Sea of Thieves in this last week and a half. One of the frustrating pieces is, of course, the lying that they did on their official podcast, saying they do want to do something for the Halo Infinite release, but they are not going to do the original or old Spartan ship set. And then they turn around and give us the old ship set. They just give us new sails and a new flag, which again are beautiful, but that's not what you said you were going to do. I have a high love for this game. I think this game is great. There's a reason I do a podcast every week on it. I love this game. But something that always perturbs me about Rare and perturbs me honestly about any game developer is if you're going to tell your audience you're going to do something, then follow through with it, right? Even if it's late, even if you have to push it, follow through with it. Do what you say you're going to do. If you're going to officially announce something, then do it, right? Don't sit there and do some PR bullshit and say you're going to do something, get people excited about it, and then turn around and not do it. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's a disservice to your customer base, to your player base, right? We're talking about a live game, service game here, right? You pay it, you play it forever. And you get the Emporium stuff, of course, to help them continue to do things. But at the end of the day, this game is a service that they always talk about it. Game as a service. This is a service to their customers. Okay, if Best Buy or Amazon or any other retailer out there says, "Hey, we're gonna have 10,000 Xboxes on this day to sell you guys, and they're going to be 50% off because that's going to be a great deal. 50% off. We're going to have the new Xbox for you. 10,000 units to sell. The first 10,000 people get 50% off the new Xbox, right? That's what we want to do for you as a customer. Then you show up at the store, you go online, and you find out actually it's not the new Xbox. They just found somewhere in a warehouse Xbox 360s, which are still factory sealed. That's what they found. Xbox 360s still factory sealed. All right. People would eat that retailer up. Sure, I would love to have a factory sealed Xbox. I'm sure they're worth a good amount of money. But would they say, I'm going to give you something new that is nothing like the old, and then they just give you the old thing and say, hey, here you go. I just put a new sticker on it. It's cool. You know, you used to be able to get white 360s and black 360s. Well, this one is a gray one. Okay. This one's a gray one. It's a new Xbox 360. Gray, but it's new, right? It's still in the box. It's new. We told you we were going to give you the new Xbox, and here you go. And that's what it feels like here. And Rare has done this many, many times. They say they're going to do something, and they turn around and they don't fulfill on what they're going to say. And that's just bad. That is bad customer service. That is bad planning. That shows me that there's a disconnect between the people who are actually making these announcements and then the people who are actually executing that plan. There is a disconnect between announcement and plan. And that's really bad to have. That's really bad when your outward announcements are not giving the people who are listening to them and the people who are consuming them and the people who are excited about them. And it's not filtering through to the actual people who are executing on the delivery. And therefore, you're over-promising and under-delivering, which is the worst thing to do in the services industry. You never want to over-promise. You never want to over-promise and under-deliver. You want to under-promise and over-deliver, right? You want to tell people, hey, here's what we're going to do, and then knock it out of the park so they're completely dumbfounded by it, right? You always want to under-promise and over-deliver. And Rare has always been a company that over-promises and under-delivers, right? Whether it be a cool new update and then it releases and there's a shit ton of game-breaking bugs on it or exploits on it, and it's painful to play, and then you have to wait a few days or a week to get those things resolved, et cetera, et cetera. You always, always, always want to under-promise and over-deliver so you wow your customer base. That's customer service 101. And in Rare's case, they always overpromise and underdeliver in what they're doing, except for two things. And we're going to talk about that a little later once I get off my soapbox here. The other thing that we've seen rear its ugly head is over the past week, we've had two instances where Rare has had to announce on their official Sea of Thieves Twitter account that rewards experience have not been calculated properly. Now, I don't know about you, but as a player of this game for 3 years now, I am getting so sick and tired of this. It happens just about every single season. To my knowledge, it has happened in every season, and really it feels like it happens near the end of the season, which tells me there's something going on when they're trying to get ready for the new season that they might be doing on the back end through a patch or whatever that's starting to break the previous season, and that's not good. That is not good. But ultimately what they always do is they always release something that says, hey, we're aware that you're not getting gold. You're not getting doubloons. You're not getting experience. Your time in our game is useless right now. You can play our game all you want, but you're not getting anything out of it. So why even play it? It's basically what the messaging is that they're sending. It's obviously in the PR spin where it's like, hey, keep playing. We love you guys. Don't worry. We're going to take care of you. We're going to give you a big hug and a cookie in the end. But at the end of the day, you can play our game all you want right now, and you're not going to get anything out of it. But what they always do at the end is once they figure out the issue and they've resolved it, they always compensate people from the time the issue was found out till the time it was resolved, if you logged in during that time, they usually compensate you a big chunk of gold and a big chunk of doubloons. Whatever. It's infinite resource. It's completely infinite resource in the game. You can farm doubloons all you want. You can farm gold all you want. It's nothing out of Rare's pocket. To me, when they say, hey, if you logged in during this time when our game was completely busted and no matter how much time you put into it, you weren't actually accomplishing anything because our shit was broken, here you go. Here's gold that costs us nothing. Here's doubloons, which cost us nothing, and really are infinite resources in the game. So there you go. Isn't that exciting? I spent 4 hours grinding my season pass, grinding up to Pirate Legend, trying to work on this stuff with the game, and it means shit. But don't worry, I got a pile of gold and doubloons, which also mean absolute shit. They want to make it meaningful. They want to actually make it meaningful. If you logged in during this time to this time, here's a 50% discount code on our next season pass. There. That is now meaningful. That is now telling me that you care about my time. My time is money, right? I don't have to play your game. I could get a part-time job. I don't have to play your game. I could be streaming. I don't have to play your game. I could put some overtime hours at work, okay? My time is money. And I'm choosing to use my time not to make money, but to try to relax and enjoy my time playing your video game. Your video game is broken, so my time in your video game is absolutely useless and absolutely just, I'm not accomplishing anything in your game. So you should be compensating me a way that makes me feel good about the lost time that I spent playing your game. How you do that? You compensate me with actual dollars. Now, I'm not saying cut me a check. No, that's just dumb. Just put in the system, code in the system, these accounts get 50% off the next season pass. I mean, yes, Rare is going to lose money on that because those players are, not going to be paying full price for the season pass. It's not every player out there, so they're definitely still going to get full price on the season pass. But what it's also going to do is maybe some of those players currently right now don't buy the season pass because they don't want to spend $10 on, well, let's be frank, kind of garbage design season passes. But maybe if you give them 50% off and instead of paying $10, they're paying $4.50, $5, hey, now maybe you've just unlocked a new revenue source, at least for those seasons. I don't know. But just giving me gold and doubloons, I've said this multiple times on stream, I've said it multiple times to other people, giving people gold and doubloons to make up for the time they lost because your coding is garbage is absolutely just a disservice to your customer base. It's an absolute disservice to your player base. It's a slap in the face, in fact. I can farm up a ridiculous amount of gold just doing Fort of the Dams. I can farm up a ridiculous amount of gold doing vaults. I can get doubloons, et cetera, et cetera. It doesn't mean anything. Doubloons haven't meant anything except for trading them in for gold for a very long time. Now with gold, you've at least got some new cosmetics in the game. And you've got the Dark Adventure, if you haven't done that, to dump your gold into. But at the end of the day, the doubloons and the gold are an infinite resource in this game that you can farm anytime you want. So it really is a slap in the face to us, the player, because we lost time. We lost time, which we could be using to do other things. But we chose to play your game. Your game is broken, and we're just getting a stale, useless, disgusting cookie out of it. That needs changed. I don't think they are going to change it because in Rare's mind, they're giving you something. They're giving you something. And in Rare's mind, you're playing their game for enjoyment. So, hey, you got enjoyment out of it. You might not have got experience. You might not have got gold. You might not have got doubloons. You might not have got your ancient coins if you killed an ancient skelly. Whatever the case may be, you didn't get your rewards that you earned during that time. But in Rare's mind, you still got your enjoyment. And they're just trying to make it up to you. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. If I went to a company and had a really bad experience with their store, and I said, hey, I had a really bad experience from your store. Your employee spat on me. I want compensation. And if the store goes, well, I am very sorry about your experience. We will have a conversation with that employee. We'll make sure that employee no longer works for us. And we'll make sure that the next time you come into our store, we'll make sure that it's a better experience. Okay, thanks, bye. And then all of a sudden I go back in the store, and the next time, instead of getting spat on, I get a booger flung at me. Well, it's still a bad experience. Eventually, you're just going to stop shopping at the store. Rare giving us some golden doubloons means absolutely nothing to the players. I'm sure there's some players out there that appreciate the golden doubloons, and I appreciate them doing something, but it's meaningless. Their give back to us is absolutely meaningless in that. Here's what I would like to see them give back. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry our game was broken. I am so sorry our game was broken that you didn't get this experience. Here, we're going to fix hit registration for you in the next patch. Hit registration will 100% be fixed the next patch. Look, guess what? You didn't give me any gold. You didn't give me any balloons. You didn't give me a check in the mail. You didn't give me ancient coins. You didn't give me a discount on anything. You gave me something that I want. You gave me something that I want. That's more important than golden doubloons. There are some players out there who might want golden doubloons, but in my mind, after playing for this game for 3 years, golden doubloons means absolutely nothing to me. Means absolutely nothing to me. All right, so let's move on to some news. There's some exciting news out there for you. Lots of exciting news in Sea of Thieves right now. I'm just pulling it up so I don't actually tell you anything wrong. So lots of exciting news going on right now in Sea of Thieves. One, the Thanksgiving event started. It is not the Festival of Giving. That will come in Season 5, and you will hear me really complain about that because it's the worst. It's the worst event of the year. But going on right now, starting right now, and again, if you're not getting this episode until Thanksgiving, you might have missed on some of this. But going on right now is some special events. The Feast of Bounty, right? And there's some daily events going on and stuff like that. Like right now, as we're recording this on the 23rd. Let's see here. You can get place a selection of treasure on the board of your ship. To finish the deed. Don't forget where, though. Let's see here. You get gold, and it looks like there's a book there. I don't know what the book means. Channel your inner beachcomber and discover some washed up treasure to fulfill this deed. Again, 3,000 gold. Things which are coming up. Nope, those are all the same. Wait, no, that's not the same. Revive a fallen ally for 1,000 gold. Raise a trading company emissary flag for 3,000 gold. There's these little books next to it on the event hub on the site. I'm not sure what's going on, but each day during the feast, there's going to be things going on, right? Each day during the feast, you'll have different events going on. Now, the feast itself goes from November 22nd, so yesterday. If you're a Patreon, you're getting this on the day I record it. It started yesterday, the 22nd, and it goes through the 29th, and there are 3 unique rewards that you can get from this. You can get, let's see here, the Feast of Bounty Makeup. Complete all the preparation challenges during the Feast of the Bounty to unlock this reward. You have to unlock 5 to get that. It's, again, the makeup. There's the Feast of Bounty Scar. Complete all the celebration challenges during the Feast of the Bounty to unlock this reward. There are 5 of them. And then there is the Bounty Bringer, which is a title. Complete all challenge goals during the Feast of the Bounty to unlock this reward. So right now, going on the 22nd to the 29th, is the preparation challenges. So you can do you can get the makeup going on right now. And then unlocking on November 25th, which is in fact Thanksgiving Day, you will get the celebration challenges. So you will have 7 days to complete the preparation, and you will have 4 days to complete the celebration. So let's dive in here and see what these challenges are and see if I approve of this particular event. So here we go. A free lunch. So you have to do this. Collect a free Feast of Bounty flag. Meet Larina outside the tavern and browse her stock. Collect the free Feast of Bounty flag and meet Larina. I don't know what that means. I don't know what the free feast of bounty flag means. Cook a piece of pork or chicken at a campfire using your ship's stove. And you need to do that 10 times. A platter of predators. Cook a piece of shark or snake meat at a campfire or using your ship's stove. So you have to cook 10 pieces of pork or chicken, 10 pieces of shark or snake to get those. Eat or be eaten. Cook pieces of megalodon or kraken meat at a campfire using your ship's stove. So you have to do 10 pieces of chicken or pork, 10 pieces of shark or snake, 10 pieces of megalodon or kraken. And those are 3 things you have to unlock. Cook any kind of fish at the campfire using your ship's stove. So 10 fish, 10 megalodon kraken, 10 shark, 10 snake meat, 10 pieces of pork or chicken, and 1 bounty flag. This sounds like the 25 or the 12 days of Christmas or whatever that song is. Okay, so not too bad. Very focused on Hunter's Call. I'm not mad at this event. These are things that we've done before, obviously, but we haven't really done some of this stuff for a bit. Hunter's Call is a great way for you to finish up your season pass, which you only have like 2 weeks left on that. So this is okay. This is okay for a short event. The event, like I said, is only like a week long. I think this is fine. Not very creative, but it's only 7 days. I get it. It's cool. Okay. So then celebration challenges. So this one unlocks on Thanksgiving. What do we have to do? Fly a flag aboard your ship. Choose from the flag box in the crow's nest. Why not pick the Feast of Bounty design? Okay, so there you go. You just fly a flag and you get a point. Now, these aren't unlocked as far as seeing how much you have to do, but I'm assuming it's not going to be too bad since it's only 7 days long. Dressing for dinner. Use the clothing chest to change at least one part of your outfit ready for the feast. So just change something in the clothing chest. You'll get that point. Let's see here. Palate cleanser. Head to an outpost and spread some cheer by sharing a drink with a pirate from another crew. Okay. Trying to get some interesting player interaction there. Okay, got it. A feast for the ears. Use a musical instrument to play a shanty along with a pirate from another crew. Okay, we've seen these before. There are accommodations as well, and they're also Xbox achievements, so we've seen those before. I get it. It fits with the theme, though. I understand. Never look a gift horse in the mouth. Place your treasure items aboard from another. Son of a bitch! Apparently, we were early for the Festival of Giving. This is the worst thing ever. All right, I take back everything I said about this being a 7 days event and it being okay designed for 7 days. That's stupid. Never look a gift horse in the mouth. Place your treasure items aboard another ship's crew. Okay, let me tell you why this one is bad. Let me tell you why it's bad. We'll see it again for Festival of Giving. Let me tell you why this particular check mark for any event that they've ever done is bad. Okay, let me tell you why. 1, never give away your loot. It is your loot. You are a pirate. Pirates don't give away loot, period. Okay, they don't. It's not what a pirate does. This is stupid. It doesn't play, it doesn't do anything for a pirate game. It doesn't match the Sea of Thieves title, okay? This is not Sea of Friends. This is not Sea of Giving. No, this is Sea of Thieves. Our job is to steal loot, not give it, right? So that on the principle alone, this should never exist. That should never, ever, 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 ever exist, ever in an event, accommodation, anything. You should never be giving your loot to another player, period. It goes against the entire concept of this game. The entire concept of being a thief and being a pirate, giving something away. It doesn't work. It is dumb. Now let me tell you, as far as community and gameplay, why this is bad. This promotes spawn camping. This right here promotes toxic behavior. Because I can tell you right now, there are players, including big name streamers, that they will not give a piece of loot away because it's against their brand, it's against the game, it's against how they like to play. They are here to steal loot. And so what they are going to do is they are going to get aboard a ship. They're going to kill all the players on the ship. They're going to have someone bring their ship alongside that ship. they are going to proceed to camp. They are going to proceed to spawn camp that vessel, killing the players and ruining their player experience until they can transport enough of their loot back and forth from their ship to your ship and their ship to your ship until they get that particular event checkmark. It is absolutely toxic. It is absolutely horrible. It is absolutely bad player experience. And because Rare has designed it in this way, that all that you have to do is, so if you take something from them and you put it on your ship, that is now your piece of loot. So you can take that treasure chest back from your ship that you just stole and put it back on their ship to get a check mark for this. And you can go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth until you get this done. It has been done for many years on Festival of Giving, and every time this particular unlock and this particular achievement pops up on the events hub, that's exactly how players do it. It is toxic. And Rare is trying to get rid of toxicity in the game, but they create things like this, which promotes toxic behavior. It promotes poor player experience, and it just promotes a really toxic and bad game. And Rare themselves have again put this on their event as something that, yay, it's Thanksgiving, we should help each other and be thankful for each other and help. No. You are literally taking something in a PvP game that encourages spawn camping and toxicity, and you are putting it in the game. You are telling players, be toxic. You are telling players to be spawn campers because players don't want to give their loot away. So they're going to spawn camp, they're going to be toxic, and they're going to ruin the player experience for other players just to get your check mark so they can get all your event stuff done. Jesus! It's bad design, and it encourages bad behavior. And the only people to blame for this is the developers. The only people to blame for this is Rare. Yes, you can say these players are being toxic. They're choosing to be toxic. They're choosing to be spawn campers. You're absolutely right. But who is enabling them by the event that you have created? Rare themselves have enabled these toxic players to spawn camp and do this loot juggling in order to get this event completed. And we're going to see the exact same thing. I promise you, we will see the exact same thing during Festival of Giving. Festival of Giving happens every year, and there's all this give your loot to someone else stuff in there. And all it does is create a very toxic player environment, poor player experience, and things that Rare keeps saying they want out of the game, they are encouraging to bring back into the game. You cannot blame players for utilizing the systems in the game that you have given them to be toxic. You cannot blame players for being toxic when literally the systems that you're putting into your events encourages toxic behavior. You cannot blame the players for this. Rare is encouraging toxic behavior. And there is one final thing. It looks like a tattoo set to me. It's called Overindulgence. It runs through the entire thing. Devour cooked meat and fish to complete this challenge to earn the reward. You have to consume 75 cooked meat over the course of the event. Again, the 22nd of November to the 29th of November. 75 yum-yums, cooked fish or cooked meat. And you will be able to get, it appears to me like a tattoo. Yes, it appears to me like a tattoo. So there you go. That event, like I said, started on the 22nd. The second part of that event starts on Thanksgiving Day, the 25th. And it's not a very creative event. It's kind of lame, kind of boring. A lot of easy things for you to do. You've got 4 different cosmetics to unlock. So pretty easy to do. But like I said, it's lame, and unfortunately, because they put the embarrassment of riches on there, they have yet again put in a system where toxicity is what's good. So there you go, Rare. You want toxicity out of the game? Stop designing it to add toxicity to the game. Just in time for Black Friday, just in time for Thanksgiving, just in time for Christmas, we have a new product from another company, which is partnering with Sea of Thieves to get you in-game loot and also some Sea of Thieves swag. You may have tuned into him in his morning party boat stream. Alex, AL3X, Alex Davis. I actually believe is the, I don't have his Twitter account up. So if Alex, we've talked, if I screwed that up, you can yell at me. It's fine. But you can find him on Twitch, AL3X. He's been playing Sea of Thieves for quite, yeah, it is Alex Davis. There he is. I see him right there. There he is. Okay, Alex Davis, AL3X. He is the owner of Madrinas Coffee, which is a very popular coffee on Twitch. It's a very popular coffee just out there. It's a powdered coffee. They also have cans and things like that. Unfortunately, I can't drink it because it has a ridiculously high sugar count on content, but a lot of folks out there, you know, it tastes really good. It has really high reviews. It's just unfortunately if you're diabetic or you're someone like me who is on keto and lives a keto lifestyle, this is not for you. They do have products, however, that we can have, some of their darker blends, but some of their really flavorful stuff and unique flavors they don't have in a style for us, but that's absolutely fine. So here you go. Here is the deal going on right now. You can get dark chocolate salted caramel cold brew coffee, a ghostly green shaker cup with the Sea of Thieves logo, glows in the dark, and an exclusive in-game coffee emote. So again, we've seen Sea of Thieves partner with companies in the past to give you some sort of in-game perk and in-game funness. So right now, Madrina's Coffee, you want to check them out on Twitter. That's at Madrinas on Twitter. If you like coffee, check these guys out. Alex is a really, really good dude. So make sure you check him out on Twitch, AL3X on Twitch, former Halo competitive player. He's getting back into Halo now, but huge Sea of Thieves streamer, plays with a lot of Sea of Thieves. Great dude, just great dude. Very high energy, great personality, awesome person. But his company, Madrina's Coffee, dark chocolate salted caramel cold brew coffee, gluten-free, all natural, $19.99 gets you the tub. Gets you the tub and every, let's see here. Let me just read this to make sure I'm reading this properly. Let's see here. When you lift the anchor at Golden Sands and head out to the open seas, this limited edition Madrina's Sea of Thieves dark chocolate salted caramel will really put the wind in your sails. This indulgent combination of dark chocolate and caramel is sure to satisfy your sweet tooth. We even added a pinch of salt for those salty sailors out there. Bonus! Your order also includes access to an exclusive in-game coffee emote. Each tub will include one digital download code for the Xbox or Steam so you can fuel up in-game. So you do have an option for $19.99 to get the coffee emote and a tub. Now, as far as the deal going on right now, I'm trying to pull up the deal here. I'm not sure if the deal, so yes, the Sea of Thieves bundle is actually sold out. I don't know if they're going to get any more in, but this was a $39.99, so $20 more than the single tub. This was a $39.99 value, 2 tubs of the dark chocolate salted caramel cold brew, 1 limited edition Sea of Thieves Madrina's glow-in-the-dark shaker cup, and 2 download codes for the Xbox or Steam for the coffee emote. So those are currently sold out right now. I don't know if they're going to get any more in. I don't have any affiliation with Madrinas, but they did announce this on their Twitter account last week. So again, you want to go over to madrinascoffee.com. You can click on shop, click cold brew, and you can find the Sea of Thieves stuff there. Again, keep in mind right now, all that they have in stock is just the single tub with the emote. Right now, the double tub bundle with the shaker cup is sold out. So keep your eyes on that. They might get more in. I'm not 100% sure. Again, don't have any affiliation with them. But after that ad read off their website, you know, Madrina's Coffee, hit me up. I'm your guy. I'll do work for you. That's salted caramel Sea of Thieves coffee with dark chocolate. Cold brew only at madrinascoffee.com. God, I have fun doing that. Anyways, so that's kind of our news right now that we're looking at. We've got the new event leading up to Thanksgiving, just past Thanksgiving. This event is probably going to be the last little thing before we get to the end of Season 4. Again, season 5 right on the horizon. I think about 2 weeks away, so you don't have much time to finish that that plunder pass up. We've got the Madrinas coffee promo. So yeah, there you go. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is some of the things that Rare just does really well. Okay, obviously they lie. Okay, we've covered that ad nauseum. Obviously, they struggle with prioritizing important bugs and exploits in the game. But there are two things that Rare does well. And these two things I can never bash them on. I can never fault them for. I can't find a chink in their armor on these two things, okay? One is art, okay? One is art. Regardless if they're giving us the old Spartan set, we get new sails and a new flag with the release of Halo Infinite. The sails are beautiful. They're very Halo. They've got the cross swords with the I think it's one of the alien heads on it. It always reminds me of the xenomorphs from Alien, but very Halo. The flag, very Halo. Looks great. Designed amazingly. Some of the new cosmetics that they've added to the vendors look great, are amazing. The new emissary rewards look great. They are amazing. And there's a lot of things like the cannons that I'll never use. And though there's a lot of things that my character or my ship will never have on it, the color choice, the color palette, and the overall design of all the art that they put into this game is unquestionably great. I cannot fault them at all. Now, sometimes they have mishaps like, the pay to win gun smoke or the cannon flare with the Halloween stuff. That's going to happen. But if you use cannon flares, you're wrong anyway. So it doesn't matter. If you use cannon flares, you're wrong. Sorry, don't at me, but you're wrong. And I'll go to the grave with that one. But their art style throughout the entire game can't be questioned. Their art is absolutely amazing. Their coding sucks. And that's just how it is. But the actual design of the art of this game is beautiful and unquestionably amazing. For a game that, when you see how it was rendered very early to where it looks now, it's beautiful, it's amazing, it's great. As far as visually, it's amazing. The other thing that Sea of Thieves does well, and they covered this in the official podcast, which I mentioned a little bit last week, is accessibility. I can't say that. Accessibility. I don't know. It is this idea and what games are obviously trying to implement. But I think Sea of Thieves goes above and beyond other games on this level. And that is making their game accessible for anyone, regardless if you have a physical impairment, regardless if you have a mental disorder, regardless of what type of exceptionality you may have. Sea of Thieves tries to do its best to make sure that this game is playable for you. And I can't applaud them enough. And I haven't really talked about this before. I haven't really went into detail and really discussed why I think this is amazing that Rare does this, is because I don't have an exceptionality, right? I have like really bad hands just because of, years of drumming and years of physical labor doing shows and stuff like that. So my hands are, they're bad. Like my hands are really bad. A lot of pain in using controllers and a lot of pain in that stuff. But you know what? That's not a disability. That is something that just came with percussion and Latin hand drumming and having to move speakers. It's just wear and tear on the body. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is people who may not have hands or may not have arms. They may have no ability to move their hands or arms. They may be in a wheelchair. They may be blind. They may be deaf. They may, have some mental disorders. Whatever the exceptionality may be, Rare really uses the feedback from these players, and they talk to these players and they try to find out ways to make their game better. I know, for example, one of my best friends and brothers is colorblind. And Sea of Thieves has a great colorblind mode setting, several different options to allow folks who have color blindness to go through and try to find a setting that gets them the best visual look of the game, right? There are a lot of games out there that don't care about that. Sea of Thieves has some content creators, partnered content creators, who have full gaming setups that they're able to play the game with their mouth and with extra controllers, which have been designed for them due to their exceptionality and disability. And Sea of Thieves have built-in systems to allow them to do that and allow them to have a lot of fun playing. It's absolutely amazing to see. And so I want to give huge props to Xander Ashwell. He was on the podcast, the official podcast of Sea of Thieves. He is the director of accessibility and user experience. Now, the user experience side, well, depending how far that goes, he might not get props on that side. But as far as the accessibility side, I give this dude all the props in the world on this. My phone decided it wanted to ring, and I am in the middle of this. How rude am I? Why didn't I silence my phone? Why didn't I silence my phone like a professional? Anyway, Xander was on the podcast, the official Sea of Thieves podcast, and went in depth about accessibility and how important it is at Rare. And then he also followed up a tweet, and I'm trying to find his tweet about this. But if you go back, it's November 17th. He did a series of tweets about his vision and Rare's vision of accessibility. And I think it was huge. And now I'm not going to read the entire thing. I will put a link to the tweet in the show notes so you can go check it out. But here is the line that I think speaks to how a director, how a design team should be addressing accessibility in all video games. Not just one, not just all video games should be focused on ways to make sure all people, regardless of disability and exceptionality, should be able to easily play the game. And let me read this to you. This is from Xander from his Twitter account, at Xander Ashwell, all one word, on Twitter. Some thoughts on our accessibility journey. How we as a studio are moving from well-intentioned to highly engaged. I recently said, and this was on the podcast, accessibility should be part of our culture, not just part of our process. And then he goes on to explain that in more words that he didn't have time to in his moments on the podcast. So, but again, I will leave the link to the to the start of that thread, and you can read all his words. He absolutely hits the nail on the head. And Rare is hitting the ball out of the park as far as it comes to accessibility. I've seen multiple streamers, I've seen multiple creators, I've seen multiple players post pictures of themselves playing Sea of Thieves and talking about playing Sea of Thieves. And if you just look at them not playing Sea of Thieves, you're like, how in the hell can they play a video game? How in the hell can they enjoy a video game? And the fact that Rare goes and says, you want to play our game, let me help you play our game. Let me help design our game in a way that you can see it. Let me help design the game in a way that if you can't see, you can hear. And you can go off of audio cues to determine where different things are. And you can hear the compass talking to you. If you have an issue with reading words, here, let me have the game speak to you. If you're unable to move your hands or arms, or you don't have hands and arms, here, let us help design the game in a way that your specific controller, which allows you to play utilizing your mouth, head movements, etc., let us help you design the game in a way that your controller can work. And stating that it's not part of our process, but it's part of our culture, that says everything. That means when Rare is making design choices for new features, new expansion, whatever they're going to do to take Sea of Thieves in the future, part of their culture is to make sure everyone, regardless of exceptionality, regardless of disability, has the opportunity to dive into this wonderful world and enjoy it and relax and sail and fight and kill skeletons and skeleton captains and whatever they want to do with their time, they can enjoy Sea of Thieves like anyone else out there who doesn't have issues with sight or mobility. And that is a 100% amazing thing that Rare has done and continues to do as they develop this game, is making sure that everyone has the chance to play it. And if someone doesn't have the ability to play it, let us work with you to figure out how we can help design our game in a way that you can play it. And that to me speaks volumes of what Rare is doing on that side of their business, right? They are amazing already at designing a beautiful game as far as artwork and color choices and palette. That is top notch. The fact that they are spending so much time and effort to make sure everyone, regardless of whatever issue they may have, can play their game. Those two pillars are two things that Rare, I can never battle them on. I can never fight them on. I can never bitch about them at, because they do that so well, and they know that they have limitations in that, and they continue to reach out to people and strive to be the best. And I wish other game companies, large game companies, small game companies, would look to Rare and say, how do you guys do it? Help us learn how to do that, because ultimately gaming is for everyone, and gaming should be for everyone. And game companies should not be designing games with barriers in place to stop players from enjoying it. Okay? They should be designing ways so that all players, regardless of their situation, are able to play the game that they have purchased. And that is what Rare does outstandingly on top of their artwork. They've got a lot of other issues. We've talked about it. We've ranted about it. I've bitched about it. They have a lot of other issues. But the two things that I cannot fault that team on, and two things that I absolutely love this team on, is the fact that their art is beautiful and they make sure that everyone has the opportunity to play. I always talk about the Extra Life charity that I generate money to, that all my Twitch money goes to, that your donations through the link in the description will go to. But part of that is I get to go into the hospitals and I get to see children who are in wheelchairs, who cannot move their hands, who are blind or have some sort of impairment, physical or otherwise. And I get to see them. And I get to sit down and try to play games with them. And there are games that they can play. And there are games they can't play. So I get to see these inventions and these innovative thought processes from developers of controllers and games really making an impact on children who are suffering because of a medical condition. So the fact that this is part of Rare's culture to design a game that people who have medical issues can continue to play, and they will strive to continue to make their game more and more accessible as they go on. With the work I do with charity, I cannot commend Rare enough for this work. And I hope it continues, and I hope they keep it at that level. Guys, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. If you're going out on Black Friday, be safe out there, be smart out there, and be very nice to your workers in retail. But guys, take care of yourselves and each other. You can catch me 5 nights a week on twitch.tv/Davram if you want to come over and hang out on New World. We also launched a New World podcast. If you're into that game or want to learn more about that game, you can check that out on all podcasting apps. It's the Eternum, AETERNUM News Network. That is a New World podcast on all podcasting apps. You can also check it out on my YouTube, Davram TV on YouTube. Take care of your guy. Oh, wow. First time I've messed up this outro. Right. Okay. Yeah, let's try that again. We're doing it live. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you next time on Pirate Talk Radio.